Hey, welcome back to Flawed TMI. I'm going to make this a super quick one because I do not want to get any copyright type of infringements or anything going on, but it seems like all of a sudden everyone want to come out with the musical notes of exercise. So I wanted to put this out here because my son, I've mentioned, in a previous message that he's questioning himself, not necessarily sexually, but he's being drawn or exploring mentally. And he's an artist, and now he has his curiosity. So his art form has a little bit of secrecy behind it. He always go to his room and he'll kind of lock himself away from the world. And if I go into his room, I used to notice how standoffish he used to be. And I never quite understood it. I always just thought it was untidy. Certain things he just didn't want me to see. Maybe left a bowl or food or something like that. And I thank God that something came into our spirits at the same conjoining time that I was in a receptive ear, and he wanted to put it out there for me to be able to hear and understand him. Got to make my wish because I want to get this off my heart. Okay, here we go. So he sat back and he was telling me, Mom, well, it wasn't telling me, he was more along the line of how would I still accept him if his art takes a different turn. And I didn't quite understood, but I did, because he is my son and I have other sons, as well as he's 21. And I wanted to hear from his mouth exactly what he's experiencing. And as he was speaking with me, he had mentioned that he sometimes, his art tends to be a little bit more on the risque. I'm just going to put it as triple X. It's not really triple X, but I'm just going to say, because it's not something that, you're going to pass around and let the little kiddies look, but that's how he's expressing himself. And we had this conversation, deep conversation. And he was, when I let him get it all out of his soul and spirit, and I was listening to it. And he was like, well, Mom, would you accept me? And yeah, baby, I'm going to accept you regardless. I had asked him, are you harming yourself? No. When you're doing this, are you putting harm in your work? No. Then are you sharing this online with any children, anyone under the age of 18? He also said no. Then, sweetheart, is art. It's a form of expressing yourself. If you need to express yourself in PG form, then so be it. If you need to express yourself in X-ray form, I'll accept it. Art is art. Art is subjective to anyone, any and everywhere. Just because you love it, I may not like it. Just because I like it, you may, there's so many different ways people may view it. And I want him to make certain that he knew that regardless, I am comfortable with him, and I want him to be comfortable. You do not have to hide. You do not have to feel shame. This is all part of your exploration of you. This is part your sexuality, your mental health, all of it is all conjoined because it is all who you are. You do not have one without the other. You cannot dissect this side and be that thing and then go over here. You'll go apeshit behind it. And I am so blessed and fortunate because I told him, you are not the only son that I have. So I already seen the signs of secrecy. I already seen the signs. So I knew something was going up, but I was allowing you your privacy. And now that we've done, got that all out there, prayer. Okay. I just wanted to make certain that he had known I love him no matter what. And he said, Mom, you sure you'll love me no matter what? And I had to make certain and reassure him, sweetheart, we're all we got. If I cannot love and accept you, you cannot love and accept me. And all we're doing is doing harm to each other. You are my son. You are a young man. Autism does not define that you do not know the true nature of who you are. That's the one thing that I want him, and I want others to hear this. There are so many people who sit back and see a diagnosed individual and they make their diagnosis who they are. No, that just happened to be a form, a part of who they are. It is not them. It is not them whatsoever. It is not something that he walks on his, walk around on his sleeve. Now, if you see him, okay, you see a quirk, you sit back and go, But trust me, I know so many people, whether they're diagnosed or not, who have these same different types of quirks that make me go, So if I'm saying this off the general masses, please, by all means, accept my son, accept individuals like him. If it's within you, accept you. Because we do not do enough of that. We sit back, and it's easier for us to do the side whisper, the side eye, when it's just easier for us to just go, I see you. Because if they're not harming anyone, they're not harming themselves, then we need to uplift and we need to support. So my baby boy, if he sit back and say, Mom, here's some art, and I think it's dynamic, I am going to share it, I'm going to push it, I'm going to promote it. If it's over here and it's of the X, trust me, it will get the same love and respect as the PG. Because why? I rock with my son no matter what. So if anyone has anything negative to say about how I uplift and support my son, yes, like I said, that's his diagnosis. But at the end of the day, I am a warrior. I rock hard for him. I'm there for him. And he can't do any wrong, just like I can't do any wrong. Hell, I live a more flawed life than he does. Booyah. Y'all sit back and you chew on that, because I'm quite certain I'm not the only one. So if you like this message, thumb it up, then subscribe, pass it along. Let's build up the community. And if you're not here for me,